Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different and just tell you the story of my League of Legends career. And yes, I can call it a career now because I'm a successful YouTuber, so it's no longer just a hobby. But what led me to this point? What led me to becoming a League of Legends YouTuber in the first place? Well, to answer that question, we have to go all the way back to the year 2012, which is the year that I started playing League of Legends. Now, real quickly, before I get into my story, today's video is sponsored by HASTE. I'm sure a lot of you already know about my sponsorship with them, but HASTE is a program that allows you to reduce ping and ultimately stabilize your internet connection during games. So far, for the most part, I've gotten positive feedback saying it reduced your ping by 10, 20, even 100 points for some of you. It really does depend on your location, but specifically it works for the North American servers. It's 100% free if you sign up for the beta now, so I'll leave that link in the description, and for those of you interested, you can go try it out. So December of 2012, I was a senior in high school, and League of Legends was in the end of Season 2, about to enter the pre-season of Season 3. Now, I've always been a gamer, from the old Nintendo to Call of Duty to Halo to World of Warcraft. I've just always been playing games my whole life. But at this point in time, I really wasn't playing video games anymore, and I just thought I was growing out of them. Maybe I'm just too old to be playing video games all the time. That went on for a few months until my best friend growing up showed me this new game he'd been playing. The game was, of course, League of Legends. And at the time, I can't lie, I wasn't that intrigued. He showed me the game. I thought it looked kind of dumb. I'd never really played a MOBA before, so this was all new to me. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I downloaded and tried playing it with him. The first champion I tried was Cho'Gath. And dude, I didn't understand anything. My first impression of League of Legends was terrible. After the first game, I tried Twitch, and although it was a little bit more promising, I still wasn't getting any sort of gratification or satisfaction out of the game. I ended up playing for about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 20 games total during that span, and it was pretty much just me playing some underpowered champion, and by the 20-minute mark, I had maybe 1 kill, but a lot of deaths, and an enemy Master Yi with about 20 kills just slaughtering me and my whole team. That was literally my first impression of League, and I thoroughly did not enjoy the game. I ended up uninstalling the game and not touching it for quite some time. But right toward the end of my high school career, maybe a month before graduation, I decided to give it another shot. I had met a few other people from high school who liked the game, and they taught me a little bit about the game, like what champions are good and what the jungle meant. So I reinstalled the game, and this was midway through Season 3, and I started playing some other champs. Finally dropped some money on the game. I unlocked 3 champions that interested me: Hecarim, Jace, and Akali. God, I remember looking through the champions, and all I looked at was their portrait and the 4 colored bars that popped up when you clicked on a champion. The red is for attack damage, the blue is for ability power, the green is for tank stats, and the purple bar was about difficulty to play. It's not until you experience what it's like to be fed before you actually fall for this game. The first time I got fed was on Jace. The first time I got a pentakill was on Akali. Before I knew it, I was hooked. The next 3 months of my life, aka the summer before college, was largely spent playing League of Legends. I got all the way to level 30, at least 10 pentakills with Akali, I got better at Twitch, and I got to try out a bunch of different champions. By August of 2013, just 2 weeks before I started my college career, I decided to play some ranked. At this point in my League career, I had become a Twitch main. I found a build that was super strong on him, and I was obsessed with showing people how good it was. So I always locked in Twitch. My placement matches went great. I go 9-1 in my placements, primarily carrying every game with Twitch, and I get placed gold 4 in my first placements ever. I remember how everyone that I knew was in silver or bronze, and they were dumbfounded at how I could have gotten placed in gold. It's funny because at the time I felt like gold was challenger. I was like, oh my god, I'm a natural at this game. I'm in gold. To be fair though, I didn't really understand the rank system at all at that point, but either way, I was proud of myself. But falling in love with this game was bittersweet. It was time for me to move on to college, and I wasn't sure if I'd have time to play video games. I actually had to give up League of Legends at this point because my college campus Wi-Fi didn't support online gaming. I actually couldn't even play, even if I wanted to. I spent the next 4 to 5 months only playing League when I'd come home to visit my parents, and that wasn't that often. And right before the season ended, I came home to find out that my rank had been decayed to Silver 1 from inactivity. Back then, you could decay to Bronze 5, it didn't matter. If you didn't play rank for a month, you'd start to move down toward Bronze 5. This obviously pissed me off a lot when I realized that I got a silver border and no rewards instead of that sweet gold border. My first winter break of college rolls around, and I was finally able to binge some League of Legends again. Honestly, I had considered quitting for good when I got to Cade, and I realized I can't play at school, so what's the point of trying to climb and get better when I'm not going to be able to play hardly at all? But after a month of having League back in my life, I was more hooked than ever before. When it came time to go back to school, I was actually kind of sad that I'd have to leave League behind again. And the cycle recontinued. I'd play whenever I came home, and that was it. I got placed Bronze 2 that season, Season 4. Thankfully, I had never had an issue getting out of Bronze. Pretty much 20 games after I got placed, I carried myself to Silver 5, playing pretty much only Pantheon top lane. That was like my new thing at the time. I'd win every lane, every single game, and I had no other strategy other than, okay, let's whip spears on cooldown and hope that when I got to level 2, I could all in them and ignite for the kill. And that shit worked in Bronze, man. I would get so fed every single game until about Silver 2. I actually got stuck in Silver for 8 months of my League career in Season 4. It wasn't until I came home from school for the summer that I had finally clawed my way out of Silver and got back into Gold. And boy, did I take advantage of that summer. I actually made it all the way to Gold 1 before the summer had ended, and it was time to give up League again for the semester. But this time I wasn't gonna stop playing. I was too hooked. This game, for some odd reason, I just couldn't keep it out of my life. Maybe it was just a sad addiction, but for some reason I wanted to be able to keep playing during the school year. I ended up figuring out that if I used my phone hotspot as Wi-Fi, I could maintain like 180 ping while I played at school. It didn't allow me to play ranked, and I could really only play about 1 game a day or else I'd burn through all my data, but I at least was able to keep myself from getting rusty while I was at school. This of course went on all semester long, and when I came home for another winter break, the season had ended and I was Gold 1. Season 5 was about to start, and I had my sights set on getting Platinum that season. I would return to school for another semester, and this is where my story takes a huge dramatic turn. I'm not sure if you guys have ever experienced a health scare, or maybe you have a condition, but at this point in my life, I really hadn't ever experienced a health scare. 2 weeks into my second semester of my sophomore year of college, I started noticing some changes about myself. I had lost about 30 or 40 pounds, I was losing strength in the gym, and most notably, I was peeing literally 25 times a day, and I would go through almost 10 water bottles a day. Pyramids of water bottles stacked up on my desk each day, and I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't the most healthy person in the world during my first 2 years of college, but I certainly wasn't unhealthy. I went to the gym 6 days a week, I ate relatively healthy for a college student, and I was in pretty good shape. But something was clearly wrong with me. At the time, I just assumed that I had something wrong with my kidneys. I came home the first weekend I could to stay at home with my parents. I let them know what was going on and hopefully get it resolved. I got a doctor's appointment for the coming Monday, and so I just kind of had to wait and hope I was okay until then. Monday rolls around, and I go to the doctor's to get checked out. The first thing they did was had me pee into a cup and then pricked my finger to check my blood sugar levels. Not 5 minutes after this happened, the doctor came in and told me he was sending me to the emergency room. My blood sugar read 354, and my urine was full of sugar, which is a bad sign. When I finally made it to the hospital, the doctors there did some blood work, and after a 30-minute wait, they finally told me what the hell was going on with me. The doctor walked in, and with a blank look on his face, he said, "We have the results from your blood work. I know this is going to be a lot to process, but you have type 1 diabetes. I'm very sorry to have to deliver this news, but it's important that you stay positive because this disease is very treatable. It's a lot of work, but with proper treatment and the right mindset, you can possibly live a normal lifespan." He kind of went on for another 5 minutes telling me about the disease and what it means biologically, but his voice faded. I was lost in my mind, like I couldn't believe what I had just heard. He then went on to tell me that I would have to inject myself with insulin at least 6 times a day. I'd have to check my blood sugar levels every time I felt weird or whenever it was time to eat. At the time, I didn't even know what diabetes really was. I thought it was just a disease people got for being really unhealthy. I didn't think it was a genetic thing. There is 2 types of diabetes, so before you get the wrong idea, I do not have type 2 diabetes, which is what older people get when they are obese or out of shape. I have type 1, which is completely different. My immune system sees the beta cells in my pancreas, which is what produces insulin to regulate blood sugar, as a threat. So it killed all of the cells off. 100 years ago, I'd be dead with this disease. 25 years ago, I'd be dying at a young age. Today, type 1 diabetics have a lot better chance of living a full life, but it's just a pain in the ass and a lot of stress. There is no cure for diabetes today, but there is a lot of hope. Now, I could talk about this for literally hours, so I'm going to continue on with my League story, but keep in mind that this has changed my life in a big, big way. I ended up returning to school, but I moved out of my dorm and decided to commute for the rest of the semester. Luckily, I lived 30 minutes away from my college, so commuting wasn't too bad. Not gonna lie, guys, I entered a very deep depression when I first got diagnosed. My anxiety was through the roof. I became a hermit. Outside of classes, I spent my days pricking my finger, worrying about my blood sugars, and injecting myself with shots. The time in between was spent pretty much always playing League. I got really good at League during this time. I got placed in Silver 2 in Season 5, but by the time Summer hit, I had hit Platinum. And I didn't stop there, but I did come out of my hermit shell when the summer hit, and I actually got an internship, a real big boy job. This was stress. I did not enjoy the real world at all. Waking up super early, dressing up in professional attire every day, giving presentations in front of important people, it honestly made me extremely unhappy. I did manage to hit Diamond while all this was going on, and by the time I had finished my internship, the summer was almost over. I had moved into my own apartment at this time, and that's where I'd be living for the next school year. It was at that time that something kind of clicked in my head. From the diagnosis and having to deal with having a chronic disease every day, to experiencing the real world and figuring out what life could be like when I graduate, I decided that I wanted more. I didn't want to live my life just getting through the days. I didn't want to have to look forward to every weekend and despise waking up every morning. In August of 2015, right after I had hit Diamond, I decided to make a YouTube channel. When I first started, it wasn't very rewarding. My videos really did suck looking back, and I wasn't getting any views. No new subscribers. I've told this part of my story before, but it took 6 months to get really anywhere when my I Got Reported for Scripting video went viral. I actually didn't even start playing Lee Sin until I hit Diamond 5. I fell in love with the champion, as you all know, and to this day, he's still my favorite champion in the game. The next year and a half leading up to today was spent doing schoolwork, making videos, and overcoming my anxiety and depression that my chronic disease has brought me. As it stands today, I have less than 3 months before I graduate college, and although it's really hard right now, I have a lot of work to do. My time to play League is slim, like every other school year has been in the past. I'm still in a good place. I pushed through the hardships, and ultimately, I made a dream come true, which was growing this channel and turning it into more than just a hobby. Now, another goal, of course, is to hit Masters, but I'm just going to be dead honest with you guys. The amount of schoolwork I have to do over the next few months, combined with uploading 3 videos a week to my channel, I'm struggling to find the time to actually climb. So I did want to let you know that my Road to Masters series might be super slow over the next few months, but once I graduate, I will be focusing on YouTube full time, and part of that is playing the game, so you can expect a lot more climbing videos once I graduate. Now, this wasn't meant to be a sob story. If anything, it's quite the opposite. I overcame adversity in my life, and I wanted to share that story with you. I think a lot of people have wondered why some of my videos have been inspirational, motivational, or just heartfelt. This is why. This channel was created out of inspiration and motivation. I didn't share the personal side of my own life with you guys in the past because I wasn't sure if it would get a good response. But I do feel like now is that perfect time to give you guys a better understanding of me and my life, and ultimately what my League career has been like. It's been crazy, man, to be at this point after the amount of bullshit I had to go through between not having Wi-Fi to play, to the diagnosis, to being super busy with school and work. I'm so happy that I pushed through it. I still have a lot of work to do, but my League career doesn't end here. It's only beginning here. Thank you guys so much for listening to my story. Whether you like it or not, you guys have been a huge blessing to my life. I want to continue to make videos you guys enjoy. Please leave a like if you liked hearing about my story, and leave a comment telling me your thoughts. As always, till next time.